What is up, guys? You got NotTheWorst here, bringing another Black Desert online video, and today we're taking a look at the notes from the Heidel Ball 2020 that took place just this morning. So if you missed it, this would be a little recap for you. I woke up very early, 4 a.m. my time, to watch at least some of the important parts for this, and then kind of broke it down afterwards to give you the cliff notes of what's going on. There was a whole lot of fluff in the early part that was kind of whatever, and then eventually they got to what we actually cared about: upcoming updates, new class information, and that sort of thing. So made some notes. I'll make this list shareable as well for you, so if you want to read through this yourself, feel free. There's a link in the description down below for it if you want to just check that out or read along as I go through them. I'll make a couple of points that were mentioned throughout it as I read these. So first up, they mentioned class balance is going to continue. The important part here being that hidden damage modifiers will be revealed mostly. I say mostly because they did comment something like, we'll do this as best as we can, or give you as much information as we can. So didn't necessarily commit to like a full, here's an idea of what's going on for it, but we do expect to see those numbers. So with those class, quote, nerfs that we saw in the global lab recently, getting to see these damage modifiers should actually help us realize what actually is a nerf and a buff. Based on those changes that were made and moving in the future. The focus is going to be on improving Awakening, not nerfing Succession, while maintaining the uniqueness of each class. Weapon exchange coupons will be removed from the Pearl Shop. This was noticed as a very serious moment when they mentioned this. The point that they were making is that people always make the comments that they create specific classes to be so much more powerful or whatever, so that people will buy these weapon exchange coupons from the Pearl Shop, and that they're using it as a selling technique, and that's not what they want to convey. That's not the idea. So they're going to remove them from the Pearl Shop entirely, and then later add them to be acquired through an in-game method. And they've literally said in the distant future, so no idea when to expect that. 530% XP scrolls are going to be purchasable again through the loyalty shop. That happens effective right now. If you haven't logged in already, you can buy those all over again. And if you're on console, you're going to get these scrolls for the first time on June 10th, which is upcoming. The Otter and Papu content is expected to be coming up soon. Didn't give a date noted for that. Black Star armor should be added soon, within the next between the next couple months or the end of the year, was what that was noted. Odalita is expected in second half of 2020. Console's going to get Great Ocean content on June 10th, and then be followed by Tier 8 horses and Pegasus being added as well. The Constant Succession release is also noted to be in the second half of 2020. As a gift, everyone's going to get 1,060 Crons. It was two separate, hey, we're giving you 530 Crons, noted. And then also an Advice of Valks 100. PC should be getting this on the next server update, June 3rd, and June 10th for console will be the release on that. New class is called Hashshashin. Hashshashin. Something like that. He can manipulate sandstorms with the power of the Valencian gods, and he wields a double-edged sword called the Shamshir as his main weapon. Notes that he uses the sandstorms also to escape opponents as well as engaging with them. They show one single video on him, which I'll pull up in just a second. He travels faster than the desert, has a desert debuff resistance as he's a Valencian-based character, and he's expected to release in July. His Awakening Succession are expected to be released in August. He's going to be released in full on the Global Lab first, so that he'll be on there before any other servers, is at least what they say for that. And when they say in full, I didn't know whether they meant we'll get Awakening Succession and that sort of thing on the Global Lab first before releases or not, but who knows. Anyways, he looks like this, which we've seen, this kind of teased anyhow. Again, Valencian-based character, so we have this kind of desert magi-looking type of guy. And then for the one single skill effect we get to see, it is very quick. I have it queued up here from a clip. And some sandstorm tornadoes. That's literally it. That's all we got video-wise. I'll run that for you one more time since it's super, super fast. So there you go. That's that. That's the character expected to release in a little over a month from right now. We're getting one single skill. So that's literally all that we get on that. Thornwood Forest is a new PvPvE content. You'll have your team versus another team, and you'll also kill mobs and bosses along with it. The best thing I was picturing with this, if you guys have played Ion at all, and they have the Dredgian mechanic, if you're familiar with that, something like that is what I was envisioning with what they were saying. where you have, you know, specific things you need to accomplish, killing bosses or get points for something along those lines, and you'll also be fighting enemies along for it. They did note that gear-wise, the gear will be on an equal playing field for the PvE portion of it, fighting against monsters. The PvP segments will be, you know, the gear that you've actually worked on and maintained, which means that teams are obviously just going to be you know, well geared. There's not much point in going in with low gear unless there's rewards for just trying to kill the monsters or something like that. We'll see. There's gonna be new horses that are breedable, and they're from other continents to have unique skills, and they're usable in a completely revamped horse race thing. So they're gonna be redoing horse races. There's these new, they listed the names of them, I didn't put them down. These new horse breed types that look similar to other ones, but they have their own set of unique skills. They use speed of the wind or something like that as their stamina, which can recover while taking turns or doing a regular sprint, and then it gets used while they're using, you know, instant excel and things like that for specifically a racing mechanic. They did want to just revisit horse races altogether and introduce these new horses along with it. There's going to be a bounty system introduced for PvP. You can put a bounty on someone after you've been killed by them. It's still in development, so they didn't really expand much on that, other than it's been talked about since the launch of Black Desert, and they've decided to look into actually designing it. They also plan to look into zodiac signs having more significance in the future. So for instance, they use a specific day for your sign. If you're the Black Dragon zodiac, you know, then Thursday, June 4th or whatever, you have a 1% drop rate increase, or you have an enhancement rate buff, or something along those lines. Still in development as well. They plan to have the best, quote, PvP players come to Korea for tournaments, and there's also going to be siege content for different nations as well, to see what zones or servers or whatever you want to call them can do the best, as well as far as sieging against each other or something along those lines. They did note that, you know, because of the pandemic, this is planned for the future, and we'll kind of see. It was a little bit of a throwaway comment towards the end of it, but that was that. New server with the power of Heidel is going to be introduced, and this is where old grind spots, the monsters in them, will become more powerful, assuming they will be harder to kill, which means more loot, higher trash loot, something along those lines. Again, didn't get specifics, but that is planned to basically give a revamp of older zones as a completely new server with this power of Heidel. New regions are planned. We have a snowy land with a gigantic dragon south of Medea that is in the works, and a new land of demons north of Valencia. They do make another throwaway comment saying this is somewhat planned to be winter 2021 for, I believe it was the snowy land. He might have been mentioning both, but again, a line like that doesn't mean a whole lot as far as timeline. And then they also have a new outfit task force, which has been created to make one new outfit per class per week. So for people looking for new outfits, hopefully you'll get them at a quicker timeline. Now after this, they did tagline this with something they often do, which is saying all of this information is subject to change. The release dates, of course, they didn't name, other than Great Ocean content coming to console, you know, noting that, and then the rewards and stuff on June 10th. That was literally the only exact date that they gave us. The more specific one was the class release of July, and then Awakening Succession in August, but again, no exact dates on that. This is done just because if they decide to change their mind, or they want to change things, or feedback is a certain way, or they don't finish things on a certain deadline, they can then, you know, push it, and they didn't actually put any sort of deadline to it, you know, and things get modified. So yeah, they did just give you this big old caveat at the end that was,
so don't expect it. One thing I would say right out of the gate is, you know, we don't have Odalita yet. They're giving us a date of second half of 2020. This snowy land and new land of demons, where they then said, you know, winter 2021. You can probably just get that one out of your head, in my opinion. I don't think that that's going to be happening nearly that soon, as they've just barely scratched the surface, at least from what they're saying in it. So I wouldn't hold anything down with that. So there you go. That's a brief summary of it. The Q&A was separate from this, and I'll break that down in another video later on if people are interested in it. If you want to have the Q&A notes, I'll go through that one again and put it down. But this was the meat and potatoes of what Heidel Ball was all about. So there you go. There you have it. Let me know what you guys think about these upcoming things. What are you excited about? What are you disappointed about? What do you wish they had said a little bit more of? Me personally, I wish we got a little more information on the new class. That was kind of the biggest surrounding thing most people were interested in. I don't mind that, you know, it's a July-August release. That sounds great to me. What I do mind is that we got that one little rinky-dink single skill usage video. That was a little bit silly to me. Are you that far behind in developing the character that you can't give a little more? Not having a trailer released with it was a bit odd. I'm sure we'll see one in the next couple of weeks on its own kind of coming out, but I was just expecting more from the new class to be released, more information or something along those lines, at least maybe a 30-second trailer or something like that. That felt a little bit awkward and like an afterthought, almost like, yeah, we need something to put in for the new class. Oh, here, let's clip this skill usage real quick because we didn't put together a trailer. I don't know. It was just weird to me. That's personally what I think. I expected a little more from that. As far as the other things, 530% XP scrolls are great. I never even used all of my previous ones. I think I have like 37 or so. So hitting 63 is on the agenda to do one of these days. I'm about 45% right now. So there's that. Bounty system sounds cool. This Thornwood Forest thing sounds really, really cool for me. If it is similar to what I was thinking of in Ion, then this will be a lot of fun, and I'm really looking forward to that. Advice of Ox 100, expect to see some TED accessory prices dip just a little bit as everybody swings for the sky on those, because that's always what happens when we get Advice of Ox 100. So overall, I'm pretty pumped with these updates. Excited to see the new class. Of course, I'll be playing it. Just want to get a trailer and kind of get a little more excited for it moving forward. Anyways, that's going to be it for this video. Be sure to like it if you did enjoy it. If you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe so you get notifications when new videos do go live. And if you want to catch me playing live, there's a link to my Twitch page in the description down below. You can head on over there and drop a follow so you get notifications when we go live over there. It being a Saturday, we'll be doing an enhancing session shooting for my last set of pen guns tonight. So if you want to check that out, about 6 p.m. Eastern time, we'll be going live with that one. With that said, that's going to be it for this video. I want to thank everybody for watching. I will see you next time.